Ah, my friend. You've returned.
I had some misgivings about Myst 5 End of Ages, as it's a continuation of the spin-off, Uru, that I never played, and the only sequel to use real-time 3D instead of pre-rendered visuals, but I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Myst 5 has many flaws, but it's still a satisfying conclusion to a series that I grew up with. The Myst series revolves around the D'ni civilization, a society that perfected the art, which is the ability to create links to entire worlds through writing special books. Atris is one of the last descendants of D'ni, and his daughter Yisha is the Grower, the person destined to save D'ni and restore it to its former glory. At the beginning of the game, an artifact known as the Tablet is revealed to be both the source of the art and of the Barrow's enslavement. The Barrow are a race of creatures that were enslaved by the D'ni people over 10,000 years ago. You must venture through 4 ages to unlock the Tablet, and your choices could save or destroy D'ni at the end of the game. Regrettably, Myst 5 doesn't have a very good story. In the third novel, Myst, the Book of D'ni, Atris gathered all the D'ni survivors and gave them a new home and another chance in his Age of Releashon, as seen in Myst 3 Exile. This means that Atris restored the D'ni civilization 2 games ago without Yisha's help as the Grower. Also, I don't see how the Barrow's continued enslavement could have any effect on D'ni's survival. I felt as if we were left in the dark as to the Grower's abilities and what exactly was expected of her. I may just be missing details from Uru, but Myst 5 has little significance in the rest of the franchise. Still, Cyan Worlds did a good job of making this rather trivial storyline engaging. Yisha's journals, narrated by Regin Alte, recount past events in the franchise, her experiences in the lifeless D'ni city, and her daunting, stressful responsibilities as the Grower. Escher, the other main character, is a compelling character voiced with passion and conviction by MASH's David Ogden Stiers. A full-blooded D'ni man, with Yisha being only 1/8 D'ni, Escher meets you often to give you hints and advice about Yisha, D'ni, and the Barrow. Escher is right to distrust Yisha, as she still desires the Tablet even though she abused its power, and her great-grandmother Tiana led to the fall of D'ni. Escher informs you of Yisha's potentially selfish motives, and regards the Barrow as repulsive beasts. And for all we know, he's right, which is another deficiency in the game's story. This man has immense pride for the D'ni civilization and its great accomplishments, and resents Yisha, a relative outsider whose ancestor destroyed D'ni, for attempting to revive his society. Escher's persuasive appearances recall the dichotomy between Cirrus and Akinar in the first game, as they drive you onward and leave you unsure who to trust. Escher also infuses the game with far more personal interaction than the previous games had. The Barrow are portrayed as an intelligent race enslaved by the D'ni, but this didn't really come across to me. They can link at will and have a primitive writing system, but they seem like little more than wild animals living on Nolaban. The game is unclear about what the Barrow did for the D'ni, Escher detests the Barrow, and the original D'ni civilization is long dead, meaning that the Barrow should no longer be enslaved to them. Simply put, I couldn't relate to the Barrow. Myst 5 is rather rare, in that it's a bad story told well. It's a poor story because of the vague conflict and undefined roles for Yisha and the Barrow, but it's told well through the engrossing characters and dialogue. Video games are usually a combination of story and gameplay, and the gameplay should ideally move the plot along. A prime example would be the Max Payne series, of which Max Payne 2 is one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. In Myst 5, however, the gameplay is far better than the story. The controls are smooth and fluid, which is a vast improvement on the controls in Real Myst, the other real-time 3D title in the main Myst series. Real Myst's controls are stiff and jerky, and have an annoying tendency to leave you stuck in corners or when going upstairs. Myst 5 gives you 3 control schemes. Classic mode has you clicking through fixed nodes like in Myst and Riven. Free look mode allows you to move freely and look in every direction. And finally, Classic Plus mode is similar to Exile's interface, as you are still moving from node to node, but have a full 360-degree view. My only problem with Myst 5's controls is the lack of footstep noises. Without them, I feel less like a real person walking through the ages, and more like a detached observer. The simple addition of footstep noises would have increased the immersion, as they did in Myst 4. The slates are a unique feature of Myst 5's gameplay. By drawing the symbols you find onto the slate, you can solve puzzles by linking to other locations in the age, and have the Barrow invoke elements such as rain, wind, heat, and even the acceleration of time. The logic puzzles are challenging, although some of the time-based puzzles can be irritating. The visuals are, for the most part, gorgeous. While not as realistic as Myst 4 or even Riven, the environments are beautiful, stylish, and atmospheric. Toldemer, in particular, is a dazzling world full of stars, planets, moons, and a bright purple nebula that resembles the default background on Mac OS X. Durabo is a tranquil age in perpetual dusk, which serves as a hub between the major ages, and Nolaban, the home of Escher and the Barrow, is a sunny, temperate age that showcases the game's grass, water, and weather effects. The level design does get a little lazy by Lakian, despite its innovative puzzles. After a Twilight world, an icy prison world, and a breathtaking astronomy world, it's just a bit of a shame to go through 2 brown coastal islands in a row. It's also disappointing that Myst Island, now a stormy, dilapidated, depressing place after 200 years of wear and neglect, can only be visited in the bad endings. Myst 5 End of Ages isn't as good as Myst, Exile, and especially Riven, but it's still better than Myst 4 Revelation, the low point of the series in everything but the visuals. It's sad when some computer-generated character models deliver vastly more credible performances than real actors Brian Wrench and Guy Sprung, who played brothers Cirrus and Achenar in Myst 4. The level of expression in the gestures, and especially the facial expressions, of Myst 5's character models is incredible. It pains me to say this, but Myst 5 End of Ages is a pretty middle-of-the-road game. The visuals are beautiful, the controls are smooth, the puzzles are satisfying, and the characters and dialogue are highly intriguing, but these good qualities are offset by a very weak, inconsequential story. I enjoyed playing the game mostly for Escher and the stunning environments. The series peaked at Riven, and the final chapter is enjoyable but not very good. At the fundamental level, Myst 5 is a bad story well told, and earns 3 stars out of 5. Thank you for watching. Cheers.
After everything, did you not trust me? After all the help I provided, all the aid and assistance? Well done. Now it has slipped through her hands. Wasted. Fool. Now your journey has been a waste. And this precious island that once represented escape is now your prison. They have all failed. You have accomplished nothing. And there is no way from here. No one will come for you. Myst Island is your end. Forever.